Welcome to Unsuitable on Ray Radio, the award-winning financial services and business advisory podcast that challenges your old-school business practices and the traditional business suit culture. Our guests are industry professionals and experts who will challenge you to think beyond the suit and tie while offering you meaningful modern solutions to help you enhance your company's growth.
It may surprise you to learn that I'm not the most social media savvy person out there. I don't tweet, I've never gone viral, and I've never shared one of those little pictures with funny comments on that with my friends and family. Hold on a minute, my production crew is telling me that these things are called memes.
It's meme, dumbass!
Memes. Sorry about that. I'm not a marketing person or a social media person. Anyway, like I said, as far as social media is concerned, I'm pretty much off the grid, and that's okay with me. That being said, while I may not know a lot about social media, I do know enough to know that if you're a business owner who is taking the anti-social approach, you're really only hurting yourself and your business. So today, Rebecca Wyan from our marketing team, located in New Philadelphia, Ohio, but travels throughout the state of Ohio, is Ray's social media superstar / rock star, is here to explain why you should consider using social media, how to choose which one is the right one for your business, and even if you are already using social media, how could you be using it better? Welcome back to Unsuitable, Rebecca.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you, Dave.
So I think you're going to tell us what these memes are right away, huh? I might be the only one in the world that doesn't do it.
I think you might be. Memes,
I don't use them.
No, but a lot of other people do, and they're actually a great way to share content on social or just with your friends. So it's fun. It's something maybe you should look into when you're retired.
I can do that, I suppose.
Sometime.
So, but anyway, I want to talk about social media excellence for businesses.
Yes.
Again, I think this social media became heightened, probably in the last year and a half when President Trump began to tweet messages to his constituents and so forth. And then you can say what you want, but that got a lot of attention.
It did, for sure.
And, whether it's right or wrong, I think it was a form of communication. And so it brought awareness to people who weren't using social media maybe into that space.
No, I completely agree. Social media is definitely something everybody, just about everybody, will exclude you from that, of course. Everybody should be using it. 79% of businesses have said that Facebook is actually a number one revenue generator for their business.
79%
of businesses.
Okay,
So,
love that.
good stat. So, but why? It's because Facebook, or even just social media, kind of gives a true insight into the business, into the company. It makes it more human. What people like and engage with on social is the human part of your content. So they want to know more about you and your business, because we've gotten to a point where we're not just buying a product or a service, we're actually we want to buy from a person. We don't want to buy a Coke just because it's Coke. We want to buy from Coke because they have the same beliefs as me. They share a good story, something that I can connect with. Social media is allowing us to connect to our audience and our clients and our customers in a way we've never been able to.
So it helps us kind of share and promote.
Correct.
Would that be maybe the terminology we want to use?
Definitely share, and coming from the share, you can eventually promote. But what's important to understand about being on social media is you don't want to sell. You don't want to just say, buy my product, buy this product, here's a great sale. You actually want to engage your audience and get them comfortable with you, because we don't want to be sold on social media. We want to engage. And through the engagement, we'll get the sale, because they've gotten to know you, they've gotten to know your brand, and then they'll buy from you. It's kind of how it works. They get comfortable with you, and they feel like I've mentioned before, it's just a connection there. So it's important when you go to social media, keep that in mind. It's not just, I'm just going to put out all these posts about why you should buy this shirt or buy these shoes, or I'm the best plumber, or I'm a great construction, why my services are great. Let me tell you about the story of me, and then through that, you'll get the sale.
So you're using social media to connect as a connector to the sales function
Correct.
after I've had a chance to
Correct.
identify, you've had a chance to connect with me and so forth on that. You keep using the word Facebook. Is there something that's bigger, better, and beyond Facebook that's on the horizon?
So there are actually, I mean, I'm sure a ton of people have seen those. Maybe not you because you're not looking at the memes, but there are thousands of social media tools. And of course, what happens is you need to find the tool that's right for you. Now, there are the talks that there's the next up and coming service, and Instagram's a popular one right now. But before you jump into social media, what you need to do is understand where your audience is. So you have to understand what makes up your audience. Instagram has become huge and is very popular, but that's with the younger audience, so the high school and college age. Facebook is actually kind of geared more towards your older audience. So before you get started, I would take a look at your customers and figure out what's their traits, and then figure out where they are, and then that's where you should go.
Okay, I wanna drop back. You used a term, and we use the term a lot on Unsuitable, and it's the term content. And you used it a couple times in as you explained this to us. But let's go back and just kind of revisit, what does content actually mean as we're talking about social media?
Sure. Well, that's really nice about social media is you have a variety of ways you can share content. And there's anything from an article that you may write to a video you may produce. Now, when you're on social, you'll of course have to understand the stuff, the content that your audience engage with might not always be the same thing. So just because you write this wonderful article, is your audience going to interact with that? So you would share it and watch and see if you're getting likes, if you're getting clicks. If not, then how do you take that content, that piece of information you're trying to share to your audience, and maybe I make that a video instead so it's more eye-catching, or maybe I make an infographic. Basically, content is any way you can share your message on social media, but you need to test different posts to see which content is going to work, because your audience may not just want to read an article, they may want to see just a quick video, or they might want to just see a couple photos. So content is basically just sharing your message any way you can, through video, through articles, through a slideshow presentation.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
One of the things, again, just out of curiosity, and you guys have been slamming me all afternoon about my lack of use of social app. I can take it. I'll be okay. I'm going to survive. I'll be okay without this.
Oh,
But
yes, you'll be.
But
fine.
as I'm sitting here thinking, okay, are there two approaches with social? Like, one is if you're trying to reach me from as a personal information versus business information. Is there a difference in how you perceive your social media?
Definitely is, and I think that's more looked at. I think the best way to do that is look at the medium you're on. The perfect example is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is commonly known as the more professional social media site. So when I'm on LinkedIn, I don't want to see a post about how adorable your cat is. I may think your cat's cute, but I don't want to see that on LinkedIn. That is the mindset. You got to think of the mindset of your audience and where they're at. So I'm on LinkedIn. The reason I'm on LinkedIn is to grow my network or to be educated of something in my field. So that's content should be more professional. But on Facebook, now Facebook has kind of become the medium where it's a little bit of a mixture of professional, but most people use Facebook more to see that adorable cat. And so I'm more comfortable engaging there. But just because I'm a business doesn't mean I can't push content on there. You
Sure.
can, but you want to take a different approach. You want to kind of make it more fun and more engaging on Facebook, because it's a different audience, and it's the same person might be on both networks, but their mindset's different because they're going to LinkedIn for that education or that professional reason, and they're going to Facebook just to kind of maybe take a break from work or engage with friends and family. So your content needs to kind of address those needs differently.
Okay, and again, let's take it from a business perspective, stay there for a second, is that there has to be a strategy, there has to be a budget. You just can't go out and do this, seat of your pants.
No.
And are you seeing and I know the answer to this. I always ask questions. I already know the answer to this, but I suppose you should have a strategy around your social media approach.
Definitely. Now, going into it, you have to understand that your strategy might change, but yes, you need a strategy to begin with. And usually the best way to start is to look to see what other businesses maybe similar to yours are doing. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. So check them out on their social media site and see how people are engaging with them. And then include that in your strategy. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of lay out what content you're going to share and what time and when. And then after a couple weeks of trying that, what's really nice about all these social sites is they give you stats. Go back to the stats and see, okay, over the last month, I've shared these X posts, and I've always shared them at 9 o'clock every Monday morning. It has no comments, no likes, no engagements. But I share a similar type post all the time every night at 7 p.m. And that has a lot of engagement. So you have to go in and kind of rethink your strategy and change the content up. If you're going in and just sharing articles and articles and articles and you're seeing no engagement, then rethink that. Like I was mentioning before, content is just getting the message across. There's different ways to do that. So how can maybe I make a video instead, sharing the same information, but in an approach that my audience would like better.
So the tools that you suggest, again, blogs and articles, that's one, but you could have photos, videos, live feeds, contests, all of that stuff.
Yes. So there's a lot of great tools that you can do. Definitely live feed is becoming very popular. You can do it on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Twitter. And that's always fun because we get a notification that so-and-so is live right now. We're like, oh, what are they doing right now? So it's a great way to engage. Contests is another great way to get your name out. I mean, who doesn't love a contest? We run them here at Ray ourselves, and we get a lot of people excited. I mean, it's the whole idea of winning something. But with them getting excited and engaging, it's getting your message to them as well. So Facebook has ways that you can run different contests. And then videos. I mean, YouTube is, one of the top search engines now. People love videos. So don't be afraid to use those. And what's really nice is you don't need a movie quality video. Actually, doing a quick video from your phone is actually very accepting of an audience because they understand, they want us to see the information, don't make it jittery, and, you want to have some nice, maybe get a stand or something for your phone, but they understand that we don't have, not everyone needs to put out a movie quality video all the time.
Sure. Okay. So, again, there's kind of a control feature, I would think, from management. I'm thinking of an example, maybe share an example with you and share my concerns about this. Let's say we have an employee by the name of Bixler.
Okay.
And he goes on Facebook or Instagram and has a Ray & Associates shirt on and is sitting at the ball game and has been collecting his draft beers that he's been drinking all day. And he shows a picture of that in the 8th inning. So there's like a ton of beer cans in front of him, and he tweets that out. That's not a message that the business would want to get out. Is that correct?
Well,
I know that's correct, but how do I control? That's my fear. How do you control that?
Basically, what you want to do is you're going to need to set up a social media policy.
See, I led you into that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay. See, leading question.
Very good. You're going to definitely, all businesses should set up a social media policy because that very situation could happen. Someone like Bixler could do that. So what you want to do is set up a policy and in it explain, you don't want to tell them no, you can't engage, you can't be on social, and you can't make it known that you work at Ray. But understand that if you're going to connect your personal social sites to Ray & Associates, you have to be an ambassador of the company or represent them in a light that is positive and make that known and make it something that they sign. Okay. It's okay if you are out with some friends, maybe at a bar, and have your shirt on and it says Ray, and provide that example. But if you've gotten to the point where there are 6 beer cans around you and you're just kind of barely awake in the photo,
hammering Fireball, and
exactly, that would be something that wouldn't is unacceptable to us. You can't tell someone no, but you can expect them, especially if they're tying to your company. You can tell them, we expect you to kind of represent us, even though you're not in the office.
You bring up a good point. I think that covers a lot of the questions that I have regarding that. Is the social media policy. There's a lot of let's call it misuse or improper use, and that's because possibly there is no social media policy or no one knows about it.
Correct. Yes, it's definitely something you should include. Like I mentioned earlier, have every employee sign when a new employee comes in. Include that with their, they get a bunch of paperwork, unfortunately, when they start. But it's something to share with them. Maybe even have an HR representative or someone, even on who might be on if you have a social media team, have them sit down and explain it to them, because it can be confusing or they just don't think about it. So just explain it to them and understand. And then also what you want to do is include in that policy kind of what happens if they break the policy, and make sure it's known that it will lead to, what happens, what can we do to fix it? Because once that photo's out there, they could go back
Sure.
2 minutes later and delete it, but it's
Still out there.
It's still out there. So you
Right.
got to make sure that their education is key, especially with new employees at first, so they can, because they might not think about it when they're out and about with their friends. But if you've educated them and provided them information beforehand, then it's they're better informed.
So if a business is not using social, they've fallen behind. Would that be a fair statement?
That would be a fair statement.
Okay, how do we? We're behind the curve. How do we get that back on track? Where do we go? What's a good place to start?
Well, I think right now, as I mentioned earlier, you definitely want to research where your audience is. Facebook is definitely going to be a good one to get out there. Actually, about 60% of people visit Facebook before they actually visit your website. So people are looking for you, they're Googling you, and sometimes they go to Facebook first because they're familiar with Facebook than they are by chance your company. So just get out there. You can go creating a page on any social site's really easy, but it's important to completely fill in all that information about yourself. They're going to ask about who you are, what year you started, your business hours, your phone number, your contact. Include all that information, because people are going to Facebook, they're going to LinkedIn, they're going to those sites first to get information about you. And if you go to a blank page or a page that doesn't have photos or engagement, then they're less likely to click on that website that's linking them. There's the link to your website. They're less likely to click on that.
Okay, let me make sure I understand this correctly. I want to go back to that statistic. 60% of folks look at Facebook or LinkedIn before they go to your website?
They do. So that's why it's so important for you to be out there, not even from a business standpoint, but even going back to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, that one, obviously businesses can be on there as well. But if you're representing your company, it might be a good idea to get on LinkedIn as well, because people are going to those sites first before they're going to so they want to try to get to know you on a platform they're comfortable with before going to your website.
How many times a day does Ray and Associates post on social?
So we only post just about 2 to 3 times per day. Now that's another thing to keep in mind too, is you do want to engage, but you don't want to engage too much, because then everyone's going to be overwhelmed. And actually what happens is, I'm sure everyone's heard that term out there, algorithms. It is, if you push out too much content, you're going to your content is actually going to be deprioritized on those social sites because you're doing too much, which might lead to unlikes, unfollows, and then that will cause that social media platform to deprioritize your content and won't get seen as much. So you don't want to post a lot. You maybe just 1 to 3 times per day. But at least get out there once a day. Weekends, is fine, but like business days, get out there at least once a day so you're getting more of a chance to be seen.
So, for example, Ray may post something regarding the new tax act, some facts, some figures, maybe some stories.
Yes.
But you wouldn't want to post that 18 times a day.
No,
because you
no one
just
wants
get tired of that.
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
Yeah.
And something else to keep in mind too when you're engaging or posting content, What I was mentioning before is changing up your actual content. So, and people want to engage with people. So kind of what we do a lot of on, especially on like social sites like Twitter and Facebook, is we do share news about our company. So we're sharing new hires, or if we had a fun event like a Indians home opener event at our office, we share those photos. We try to share a lot of that content because that's what people want to see. But believe it or not, we're going to Facebook, we're going to Twitter because we want to see the fun stuff. We don't want to learn about that new tax code.
Right.
But we do need that information. So kind of keep that in mind. Say it's good to share that personal side of your company and share those photos, because that will increase your chance of them also seeing that information that is not so fun, the tax codes and the audit
Sure.
updates and stuff like
You know,
that.
for example, Ray will be posting on Facebook about an upcoming walk for ALS. I believe that walk is in September. So we'll be posting that on our Facebook.
Yes.
And to support one of our team members that is stricken with ALS.
Yep, it'll be great because it's nice that that our audience will see how dedicated we are to our employees and how much we want to help them, and it will help raise awareness for that cause as well. So yes, we'll be sharing information about that walk, and then in addition, come when the event's over, we'll be sharing photos that we have taken from the event and the success of the event as well. And then that is just another great way to spread more awareness to our audience.
Sure,
About
sure.
us.
Kind of wind up just kind of summary in some of the things that you've shared with me, and I certainly appreciate you being very patient with me on my social skills.
You've done great.
Yeah. One is use social media is a great way to share and promote the services products. You know, it's not a selling tool; it's part of the selling process. That's certainly important. Don't just post it. It's important to use all the tools, many tools available.
Yes.
That's my second takeaway. And the third takeaway I want to finish up with is, and I'll use your term, you say, don't set it and forget it.
Correct. So that kind of goes now what's really nice is there are a lot of tools that can help you share engagement, share posts. It's like a third-party application. But don't just go in there and say, hey, I'm going to schedule all these posts for the next month. They're just going to automatically push onto Facebook. Done. Wipe my hands. You definitely don't want to do that. One, you still want to engage on the site you are on, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. The reason being is, or I was talking before with algorithms and prioritizing content. If you're just constantly using a third-party app or a third-party tool to post your content, Facebook does deprioritize that and make it less likely to be seen. So you still need to go to the actual site every now and then. And in addition to that, when you share content, people are going to engage on that. You have to interact with them. You want to reply. If someone says, has a question or even just makes a quick comment about how awesome that is, you want to thank them and comment. You also want to engage. You may notice that since you're getting active on social media, other businesses may tag you. Say you have an event coming up with another company. They may tag you, I'm sure we all know that term, they may tag you on that event saying, hey, we have this event with Ray & Associates coming up. You're going to want to share that with your audience. You're going to want to comment on it. So you have to still engage. Now, the tools are great because they help you, they are time savers, but you can't just set it and forget it.
Great, great. Our guest today has been Rebecca Wyand from Ray & Associates, located in our New Philadelphia, Ohio office, and talking to us about social media excellence for businesses. Thanks again for joining us. Great job.
Thank you.
And if any of our listeners want to pick your brain, you're available.
For sure. Find me on social.
Yeah, that's right. 60% go to Facebook and before they go to the website, but we can find you on the website.
I'm on the website as well.
Or we can use the old-fashioned way. Just call me and I'll give them your number.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. So social media gets a bad rap for a lot of reasons, but even so, there's no denying the fact that social media strategy should be an important piece of your business's marketing strategy. Listeners, even though I'm not on social media, Ray certainly is. So go ahead and check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. You can also shout out to us by using the hashtag RayRadio. And if you want to help spread the word about Unsuitable on Ray Radio, You can always share this episode or one of the 188 other episodes with your professional network. Thank you so much for your continued support. Until next time, I'm Dave King, encouraging you to loosen up your tie and think outside the box.
Very nice.